The situation may have already crossed that line, and it looks like things are only getting darker from here. What started as one clash has now grown into a full-scale family conflict, and the latest move might be the most damaging one yet. The tension between 50 Cent and T.I. has been escalating for a while, but now the story has taken another turn. And this time, it is not just about insults, diss tracks, or social media trolling. A much bigger threat has entered the picture, and it could change the entire direction of this feud. At the center of all of this is the Harris family rallying behind Tiny after 50 Cent went after her publicly. That decision did not just spark a reaction from T.I., it pulled in the entire family. And once that happened, the back and forth stopped looking like a normal rap dispute and started feeling like a war on multiple fronts. The original issue reportedly began when T.I. wanted to do a versus battle with 50 Cent. Instead of entertaining the idea seriously, 50 mocked him and started trolling. That is what appears to have lit the fuse. From there, things quickly got personal. Rather than keeping the feud focused on T.I., 50 shifted attention toward Tiny, and that move set off a chain reaction. Once Tiny was brought into it, T.I.'s son stepped in. King Harris came out aggressively and even mocked 50 Cent's late mother. He also released several diss tracks aimed at 50. Then Domani joined in as well and dropped 2 diss songs of his own. T.I. did not stay quiet either. He reportedly released around 4 or 5 diss records himself. So from that point on, 50 was no longer trading shots with just one person. He was suddenly up against multiple members of the same family, all moving in defense of Tiny. And honestly, that is a major reason why this feud started to look one-sided to some people. It was no longer one rapper versus another. It had turned into 50 Cent against T.I., King, and Domani all at once. That dynamic made the whole thing feel overwhelming, and a lot of people came away believing 50 lost this round. There's also something else that stood out in the middle of all this. The way the men in the Harris family responded when Tiny was disrespected. Whether people agree with every move they made or not, there are viewers who respected the fact that they immediately stood up for her. That level of family loyalty became one of the most talked about parts of the whole situation. But here's where things take a far more serious turn. Even if some people think 50 Cent came out on the losing side of the lyrical and public battle, nobody should assume he is done. That would be a mistake, because 50 has a reputation for being relentless, and now he appears to be shifting from rap warfare into something much more explosive. He has now said that he plans to do a documentary on T.I. and Tiny. And according to what was said, this project would focus attention on 20 different alleged escalated cases connected to them. That is not a minor threat. That is the kind of move that can reopen public scrutiny in a massive way. There were already allegations in the past involving T.I. and Tiny. Claims had surfaced that they engaged in freak-offs with different women, and some of those women alleged that they were drugged, kidnapped, essayed, intimidated, and threatened. One of those women even sued them back in 2024, although that case was dismissed. That is an important detail because it shows this is not brand new material being invented out of nowhere in the feud. These accusations had already been part of the public conversation before. What makes this moment different is that 50 Cent is now reviving the issue and pushing it back into the spotlight. And not only that, he is reportedly interested in digging deeper into some of those cases. That is where the danger really comes in, because this stops being just petty entertainment when it has the potential to damage reputations on a completely different level. Yes, it could be seen as a deeply petty move, but at the same time, it could also be incredibly harmful for T.I. and Tiny if this documentary gains traction and keeps those allegations circulating again. And as if that was not enough, 50 also took another shot in his music. He released the theme song for his show Power Origins, and in that song, he included a jab directed at T.I. and Tiny. The line was clearly meant to hit hard. And what makes it even more brutal is the fact that this is not just a one-time diss dropped into the chaos of social media. This is the theme song for a show. That means the insult is set to be heard repeatedly, over and over again. So every week, people could be reminded of the same jab. That is what makes this move feel especially calculated. It is not just about getting a quick reaction. It is about embedding the disrespect into something recurring. And that kind of pettiness is exactly why 50 continues to be seen as one of the most ruthless figures when it comes to public feuds. Of course, T.I. did not let that slide. He fired back and made it clear he was ready for any kind of confrontation, whether through bars, physical conflict, or legal action. He also said that all 50 would really be doing is exposing how fake he is, while insisting that nobody on his side is afraid. That response matters because it shows this feud is nowhere near finished. In fact, it may be entering a new phase entirely. Up to this point, the battle had already included trolling, family involvement, and multiple diss tracks. But now, there is a possible documentary, revived allegations, and music that keeps reopening the wound again and again. So the bigger question is no longer who won the first round. Now the real question is how far this is going to go. Because once a feud reaches the point where entire families are involved, old allegations are being brought back in a public discussion, and entertainment projects are being used as weapons, it becomes much harder to imagine a peaceful ending. The personal nature of it all has pushed things into a far more intense place, and it does not look like either side is interested in backing down. What started with a Versus-related dispute has spiraled into diss tracks, family retaliation, public humiliation, and now the threat of a documentary that could keep serious allegations in circulation. Whether this ends in more music, more public statements, or something even bigger, one thing is clear. This conflict is far from over. Was 50 Cent outmatched by T.I., King, and Domani? Or is this latest documentary move proof that he is still controlling the chaos? Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below with your take on this feud.